Sukhoi Gar. Greetings, I am Tad Larkin, the lore master of Manda-LORE, and today I will be digging through the archives to continue elaborating on the history of the galaxy. Where we last left off in this lecture series, we had seen the rise and defeat of the brutal Sith leader, Naga Sadow, at the conclusion of the Great Hyperspace War, which resulted in the Sith's exile into wild space. We then saw the rise and fall of Freedon Ned and his dynasty's stranglehold on the Onderon system, as well as the rise and fall of the Sith Lord Exar Kun, who created his own Sith Empire that fell as a result of the Great Sith War. Following Manda-LORE the Indomitable's defeat during the Great Sith War, the Mandalorians were once again thriving under their new Manda-LORE, Manda-LORE the Ultimate, and his ambitions drove the Mandalorians to grow, adopting new initiates of all species into their culture with every backwater world they conquered. After creating an elite subsect within the Mandalorian warriors known as the Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders, Manda-LORE the Ultimate, with secret backing from the Sith Emperor in exile, declared a crusade against the Galactic Republic, and he would make his crusade the greatest Mandalorian incursion the galaxy had ever seen. 3,976 years before the Battle of Yavin, the Mandalorian Wars broke out, when Manda-LORE the Ultimate began invading fringe worlds within the Republic's territory to test their strength, battering Althir and nearly wiping out the entire Cathar species from the face of the galaxy. These border skirmishes lasted until about 3,965 BBY, as the Mandalorians pushed further into Republic space, finally trading shots with the Republic military at Flashpoint Station, Serja, and Vanquo, before revealing the true measure of the Mandalorians' strength in 3,964 BBY. From Terrace to Onderon, and even as far as Iridonia, the Mandalorians put their full weight to bear on the Republic, and they could not hold against their massive onslaught. Though the Republic pushed back along the Jebel Vanquo-Tarnath line, the Mandalorians refused to give them an inch, nearly destroying Sirocco with nuclear weapons before pushing into the core worlds, making it as far as Corellia and Duro by 3,962 BBY. Manda-LORE the Ultimate had now nearly 1/4 of the galaxy underneath his control. Since the start of the conflict, the Jedi Order had refused to aid in the Republic's defense, which prompted a charismatic young Jedi named Revan to go against the Jedi Council's orders, and he recruited several other Jedi, including his friend, Malak, to help the Republic fend off the Mandalorians. With the aid of Revan and his revanchist Jedi Knights, the Republic pushed back the Mandalorians to the Outer Rim, and after hitting a snag in the Jagus cluster with Manda-LORE's chief lieutenant, Cassus Fett, Revan met with the Mandalorians for a final confrontation at Malachor V. Drawing Manda-LORE the Ultimate into a one-on-one duel, Revan struck down the Grand Chieftain, and unleashed the mass shadow generator on the world, destroying Malachor V, his own forces, and the Mandalorians. As disapproving as the Jedi Council and the Republic Senate was with Revan's tactics of sacrificing forces to divert the enemy during the Mandalorian Wars, they could not argue with the results. The war was won. For a year, Revan and Malak investigated the source of the Mandalorians' unnatural strength during the conflict, leading them to a yet-to-be-surveyed world called Dromund Kaas. There, they encountered the Sith Emperor Vitiate, who corrupted them and influenced them with the power of the dark side, and the two re-emerged as Dark Lords of the Sith. Darth Revan and Darth Malak were tasked by Vitiate to seek the ancient Rakatan Star Forge, and after uncovering Rakatan star maps on Dantooine, Manon, Kashyyyk, Tatooine, and Korriban, they located it over a forgotten world named Lihon, which was once Rakata Prime. Activating the Star Forge, the Dark Lords decided to use it for their own machinations, rather than to serve the Sith Empire, and they returned to Republic space at the head of a massive fleet. Many high-ranking Republic officers, and even some Jedi that had served with Revan and Malak during the Mandalorian Wars, defected to their side and helped the Dark Lords carve out their own Sith Empire in the galactic northeastern quadrant. And another conflict was waged against the Republic, culminating in the Jedi Civil War in 3,959 BBY. For 3 years, the Jedi Civil War raged, opening up battlefronts on Borost, Roche, Auxilia, Alantine, Yagdul, and Telos, effectively splitting the galaxy in two between Revan's Sith Empire and the struggling Republic. In 3957 BBY, Malak, seeking to rule the Empire by himself, betrayed Revan and fired upon his flagship, leaving him to die. What Malak didn't count on, however, was that a strike team of Jedi led by Master Bastila Shan recovered Revan and wiped his memory. The amnesic Revan was aided by Republic soldier Cartho Nasi, the Twi'lek spacer Mission Vao, her Wookiee companion Zalbar, Mandalorian mercenary Canderous Ordo, and Jedi Masters Bastila Shan and Jolee Bindo in retracing his steps and recovering the ancient maps leading to the source of Malak's military might, the Star Forge. Revan's quest hit a snag when Darth Malak revealed to him his true identity as Darth Revan, and soon after, he captured and seduced Bastila Shan to the dark side of the Force. Escaping Malak's clutches, Revan was retrained as a Jedi Knight, and he and his companions located the Star Forge above Rakata Prime. As the Republic Navy drew Malak's forces into a confrontation, Revan and gang boarded the Star Forge, and, with the aid of a redeemed Bastila Shan, defeated Darth Malak and brought down the Star Forge. By 3956 BBY, with Malak's defeat and Revan's redemption, the remnant of Revan's Sith Empire fractured and squabbled for territory. Not before a triumvirate led by Darth Nihilus, Darth Sion, and Darth Traya formed to bring order and cohesion to the Sith. Sion and Nihilus formed an alliance and ousted Traya from the triumvirate. She then sought Nihilus to campaign against both the dark side and the light side of the Force, under her former Jedi name, Kriya. Nihilus and Sion from that moment forward set about exterminating the Jedi Order, and with the aid of Sith assassins, they nearly achieved it, forcing the less than 100 or so Jedi survivors into hiding. This culminated in the Dark Wars and the first Great Jedi Purge. A mysterious Jedi exile, later revealed to be Meetra Surik, emerged from hiding on Peragus, and she then sought to find and recruit some of the greatest Jedi Masters left in hiding to bring an end to Nihilus and Sion's tyrannical reign. She journeyed to Dantooine in search for Master Varuk Lamar, Korriban for Lana Vash, Nar Shaddaa for Zez-Kai El, and Onderon for Kavar, where she aided the Republic and Mandalorian-backed Onderonian royalists against the Sith Triumvirate-backed Onderonian separatists, ending a civil war there. Her actions on these worlds paved the way for the Jedi Order's restoration, and one by one, Sion, Nihilus, and the rejuvenated Darth Traya were defeated, and she even took a page out of Revan's holobook and destroyed the remnants of the Sith Triumvirate's forces on Malachor V with the Mass Shadow Generator. With the Sith Triumvirate in tatters, the Republic scrambled to retake its former holdings, as well as occupying former Sith worlds that had been unpopulated since Chancellor Poltimo's purge of the Sith 1,000 years earlier. The Sith, however, were still thriving in wild space, unbeknownst to the Republic. After her heroic actions during the Dark Wars, Meetra Surik ventured into wild space in search for Revan, who had disappeared there years earlier, retracing his steps from his journey to the dark side of the Force. There, Meetra found Revan, and he revealed to her the unsettling news of the Sith Emperor's existence. Working with the Sith pureblood, Lord Scourge, Revan and Meetra plotted to assassinate Emperor Vitiate. However, they were betrayed by Scourge. Meetra Surik was killed, and Revan was placed in suspended animation. The Galactic Republic, meanwhile, would take nearly 2 centuries to restabilize, following the devastation of the Mandalorian Wars, Jedi Civil War, and the Dark Wars. By 3705 BBY, the Hydian Way hyperspace route began the first legs of its discovery, and Republic explorer Freya Calais would continue blazing the trail until 3694 BBY, when she reached the other side of the galaxy. In 3681 BBY, continuing to believe that the Sith were long gone, the Republic sat in its cradle of power, believing its people were safe and protected. They thought wrong, however, as 300 years of preparation and planning finally came to fruition for the Sith. Striking from the galactic northeast in the Tingle Arm, as well as the galactic south in the Sluis sector, the reconstituted Sith Empire conducted a blitzkrieg campaign against the vulnerable Republic outposts, retaking their homeworld of Korriban and kicking off the Great Galactic War.
After 1,000 years, Korriban is ours again.
While the Republic Senate squabbled, the Jedi took matters into their own hands and led few but notable defensive campaigns against the Sith, such as Bothui and Alderaan. However, both Bothui and the neighboring Seswana sector would fall to the Sith Empire. Things got even worse when the new Manda-LORE, Manda-LORE the Lesser, a Sith puppet, amassed a fleet large enough to blockade significant portions of the Hydean Way. That was until a Mirialan smuggler named Hylo Viz formed an alliance of smugglers and with the aid of the Republic, broke the Mandalorian blockade, allowing goods to flow back into the core world, as well as military supplies to flow out into the Outer Rim. With the Mandalorian blockade broken, the Sith extended an offer of peace talks with the Republic, and while delegates met on Alderaan, Darth Malgus and Shae Vizsla led a strike team into the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, paving the way for the sacking of Coruscant, which saw the Republic's capital occupied and the Jedi Temple destroyed. The Republic sued for peace immediately after, signing the Treaty of Coruscant, where the Sith relinquished control of the capital and the Republic had to relinquish key worlds to the Sith, beginning an uneasy ceasefire for 11 years called the Cold War. Hostilities between the Republic and the Sith Empire would resume in 3642 BBY, launching the First Galactic War. However, this is a topic for another transmission. This ends my findings on the later periods of the Old Republic era. Stay tuned for the next transmission of this lecture series, where the fall and reformation of the Republic will be discussed. In the meantime, keep your comm channels open for future transmissions, and don't forget to subscribe. Tad Larkin, out.